Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SNEAKERHISTORY10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a LeBron James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
Happy holidays, seasons, greetings, Feliz Navidad, all that good stuff. Welcome, listeners, to a very festive holiday episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. I'm Robbie. He's Mike. He is also Rohit. And we're here to give you a great show. How you feeling, fellas?
Festive.
Lots of Fs. Okay. Not mad about it.
Alliteration.
No, I was just going to say, like Mike said, feel festive. This is a Festivus podcast for the rest of us. So we're hoping we can bring a little bit of holiday joy, regardless what you celebrate, how you celebrate, when you celebrate.
There will be no airing of grievances on this episode today. That's for another episode.
We don't have time for that.
Not today. Actually, Rohit here, the thoughts guy, the idea guy, had a great idea for this episode. And it was, what would we gift each other on the show? Luckily, Nick is moving on up to a new place, so he's in the process of moving. He unfortunately won't be here today, but I'm still going to share what shoe I would give him for this holiday season, and we're wishing him the best on this move. So, with no further ado, Rohit, I think you should break the seal since it was your idea, if you would.
Perfect.
Please. Any person you want.
I will give my first gift to the person that brought me into the extended Sneaker History cinematic universe, and that's one Robbie. And based on what I feel is one of his favorite shoes of the year, as well as his probably all-time favorite athlete, with my first pick in the holiday draft, if we want to even call this, I'd go to you, Robbie, a pair of size 12, what the Kobe 8s. I just feel like that would be your dream shoe.
That is
just because
actually
the fact that hits you right in the feels for sentimental reasons, for nostalgic reasons, for basketball reasons. And to me, there's no shoe that better quantifies your personality. You are a vivid visual gumbo of a person, and I'm very fortunate to call you a true one of one when it comes to my friends. And I think the shoes would be the perfect chef's kiss to your entire aura and essence.
I really appreciate that. I love that shoe. It's permanently on my hit list. if I ever won a lot of money, they would be probably one of the first things I buy. The Kobe 8s sneakily in like my top 3 favorite Kobe models. So
Such a good shoe.
it's a very thoughtful gift. Do we do like white elephant? So the last person, I'm going to say Mike first. So you said me. So I'm going to say Mike. I'm going to pass. Right? Is that okay? Because I put some thought into Mike's.
I mean, my thought was we just give the gifts. How you
Just hand them.
determine to give and receive the gifts, that's the other idea guy on this podcast, and that's one Robbie. So Robbie, what is your idea?
I'm going to pass mine to Mike. Mike's YouTube channel just crossed 2,000 subscribers, right?
Yeah, finally.
Bump.
Awesome.
That's real 2K.
The growth. I remember when you first started the episode, when you first started the channel, it's an undertaking to start from square one and then to get people to actually watch your videos and to see literally your growth. Because I'm every time I see one pop up, I always click the like button. I always click the like button, make sure I get in there. It's just to go from 0 to 2,000 on your own is insane. And you do a lot of work with, lesser known shoes and, on the low shoes. So I was like, man, I got to get Mike the Black Travis Scott 1 lows. And the reason why is because you deserve it. You're worth it. You earned it.
Like, there's a song in there somewhere.
For the weekend, I want you to have something nice. And it'd be a good mix up. Something to like review like that would be great for the show. And like the shoe and the details, it looks very low key on the surface, but you have a lot of details to you once you get to know you better. And when I first saw the Travis 1 low, I'm like, oh, that's just an all black Travis 1 low, nothing that special. But when you have to look deep and you get to know the shoe, there's a lot of really cool details to it. I think it goes with everything. That's why I thought I was like, I'm gonna get Mike something flashy, but not too flashy. Some texture and flavor to it, and something to spice up your YouTube channel. This is also a plug for Mike's YouTube channel. So that's what I'm giving.
Hey, I'll take those shameless plugs all day. And you know what? I'll take the shoe. That is one of those, you look at it from the surface like, what is this? But you get down to the details, I can appreciate and approve it. All right. So let me see. So I guess I do Rohit now, right? Is that how we're doing it?
Or you can do Nick, or you can anybody you want.
Go Mystery Box and go Nick Engvall.
So Nicholas Engvall, I know you're not here right now. I did have one picked out for you. But I kind of want to take it back because you decided to sign Carlos Correa to your Dirty Giants for $1 million years for $300 gazillion. But since I'm a nice person and we're such good friends, the shoe I picked for Nick, I couldn't find one from this year that I like for him, but I know his connection with his dog Mika is so tight. They have such a tight bond. I actually decided to go a couple years back to the Nike SB Dog Walker. It just makes perfect sense for Nick. I mean, it comes with poop bags, has a little poop on the bottom of the shoe. Nick, it has your name written all over it. Just, I feel like no more explanation needed. Yep.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to zag and you zig the perfect way. So I don't know. I think my pick for Nick will pale in comparison, but that's a beautiful choice. So do we let Nick do post-production where he can kind of at the end say, all right, guys, thanks for this. I'm going to go ahead and give so-and-so this, that, and the other. And so I guess I'll go next. And I gave Robbie my first pick. The second pick I will give is to my other co-host that's here in physical spirit, and that's Mike. And similar theme to Robbie. Mike's got a successful YouTube channel, and it's all about the clicks, it's all about the views. But then there's another hidden meaning behind the shoe that I'm picking for Mike, and that's a Lost and Found 1. It is the only shoe that Mr. Guillory, Mike's dad, has said, hey, you know what? Could you go ahead and try to get me those as well?
Fantastic.
So, Papa Guillory, this one's for you. We're giving you the Lost and Found 1s because not only will it increase the views for my guy's YouTube channel, it will unlock that level of granddad swag that we all know Papa Guillory has.
It's going to be one of those, like, he's seasoned, like, okay, this is mine now. Awesome, dude. That still blows my mind every time we talk about that. Again, I love the pick. I love the pick, too. I'm actually going to address Nick's, like the Eminem Stan video. Like, Dear M, I'm here to write you. Got you a Christmas gift. But I accidentally kept it all to this year releases.
That wasn't at all a prerequisite of the show. But for Nick, I went with the Huff Dunk, and I'm not sure if he got a pair. I know it's one of the few times I've seen him ask, like, hey, if I get entries on these, he must really want that damn shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And I went that way because there was a couple different mystery Huff models you could get. And since Nick is on so many different podcasts, he has like different types of the same shoe, the shoe being the podcast. So, one for Exhaust Notes, one for Crown and Stitch, one for Sneaker History. I think there might be 4 Huffs. He might have to start another podcast. But the San Francisco Bay Area OG, I know he was a huge fan of Keith Huffington before his passing. So it's also a commemorative piece in that sense. But I went like the many options, many flavors of the same thing, and kind of what he's doing now in the San Francisco Bay Area connection to pull that together.
Nice.
Do I have any other things? No, other than they're both OGs are the last note I wrote here on that shoe. So,
Okay, time out. Did you know that we have an entire network of podcasts? That's right. It's called the Retrospect Podcast Network, and it includes a number of shows that you might like if you're enjoying this one. First up is for the F1 fans. Exhaust Notes is a Formula One podcast that's the perfect balance for the new fans joining the sport and the tried and true diehard F1 fans who've been there all along. New episodes of Exhaust Notes drop every Tuesday on all of your favorite podcast platforms and at exhaustnotes.fm. We've also got a show for the fitted hat collectors out there called Crown and Stitch. As a baseball fan, I've been obsessed with hats for as long as I can remember, and the number of people collecting now has gone through the roof. It reminds me of sneakers back in the day, and I absolutely love seeing creativity of the new releases. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode of Crown and Stitch on all of your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube at youtube.com/crownandstitch. If you follow me personally on social platforms at Nick Engvall, you probably already know I first dipped my toes in the podcast game back in 2015 with a show called Outside the Box. Originally hosted by my friends Brandon Edler and Jacques Slade, it eventually evolved into a show with Tiffany Beers, Jacques Slade, and myself, and then into an interview series with some amazingly creative guests. While the show has gone through a lot of changes throughout the years and is currently on hiatus, a lot of people have been enjoying past episodes recently, and I'm excited to say I have new episodes in the works for the new year. We'll be adding new podcasts to the Retrospect Network in the coming months as well. In fact, if you'd like to advertise on any of the shows, be a guest on any of the shows, or even talk to us about getting your own podcast started, reach out to us at podcast@sneakerhistory.com and find out more about the podcast network at retrospectpodcast.com.
Huff, Nike go all the way back. Nick and shoes go all the way back. So that's mine.
Nice. I like it. It makes perfect sense. That's a Nick shoe. That's
Yes.
like anyone you pick is a Nick shoe.
I hope he got one of them already, but if not, he now has two.
I thought you were going Nick Engvall is an international man of mystery, and hence that.
You never know what you're gonna get.
That would have been good too.
I think he's probably lived in all those places that the shoe represents, right? Like he's been in every last one of those and has spent time there.
That dude is a white Carmen San Diego. Like,
Where on earth is
San
Nick
Diego.
Engvall?
yeah, where in the world is Nick Engvall?
Nice. All right. So I will go ahead and we're gonna present Robbie with his shoe, and this one is another for this year. And this, I mean, I feel like what he's wearing just is the reason I literally chose this shoe. I always like to, when he sends pictures out, yeah, your cat sweater, man. Every time he puts a fit together, I always send a message to him, Fit God. Like, he can make the craziest thing, just let's put swag behind it. And with that, he's the only person I know that can wear this shoe and then appreciate it for the print, be the Hello Kitty Prestos.
Yes.
I think, and not only the shoe, but the whole fit that went with it. I feel like that is Robbie. Robbie deserves that fit. He can only one that can pull it off with the stash and just the Robbie swag. So that's the shoe I present you with.
Oh, sir, I love you. That's a great pick. I have them, but I've only worn them once. I wore them to Hawaii, but I'll just take another color of the Hello Kitties. That's totally fine. But I do love that shoe. That's exactly correct. That's very fitting. It's one of my favorite pickups of the year also. Damn, I forgot that shoe even came out this year. That's definitely on the list. That comes later. But thank you. I love that pick. It's very fitting.
Perfect. And then with my final pick, I have the international man of mystery that walks dogs to and fro from here, there, and everywhere. And that's one Nicholas Engvall. And similar to the theme that Mike had called out, in spite of the questionable free agent signing, like do better, Nick, do better, San Francisco. we are going to give Nick, with his third shoe of the season, the Air Griffey Max in the San Francisco Giants colorway. Because if there's one thing Nick Engvall loves, it's baseball, and it's those damn San Francisco Giants. And I don't feel happy about the fact that he poached one of Mike's favorite players. So my caveat to that is you're getting the shoes, Nick, but you won't get the laces because winners get them.
They're slip-ons now, Nick.
They're slip-ons now.
That's a great one. I'm sure he will also. I'm pretty sure you can give him a Griffey in any color, but a Giants in particular is a very, very good pick. For my last one here, I have Rohit, and we were talking earlier about things we want to work on and stuff. And Rohit, I know you're a very constructive person. You're a very analytic person. So you've brought this shoe up a couple times throughout the year. I'm going to give you the Harden Volume 7. And there's a few reasons why, because you wanted to diversify your takes a little bit. And I think that's the perfect shoe to put in your hand and see how you feel about it organically. You have a lot of class to you. And I feel like that Harden also has a lot of class to it. It has this like throwback design cues while still being modern. And I think that could very much sum you up and your interests. You like a lot of old things that are cool now, and a lot of the cool stuff now came from the past. So it's come full circle. You're both, you and literally James Harden, I think, are very at the points of your career where you've seasoned and kind of mastered what you do. Like James Harden knows how to game the game. And I feel like you know how to do your line of work so extremely well that you're just lined up for it. And you come in so many different colors. There's wrestling row, there's sneaker row, there's comic book row, there's family row, there's dad husband row. Those are two different, there's many different colors to you. And the Harden Volume 7 has already come in a whole bunch of different sauces. So
I appreciate that.
That was my choice.
This is Appreciative Row, who is learning how to take compliments, and you paid me one of the highest compliments you can. So thank you, Robbie.
I tried.
So I think me and Robbie were on the same path when we picked Rohit's shoe, just from a conversation we had earlier. But not only that, but it's also that Rohit, me and you can probably spend hours and hours on end talking about anything comic book related. So my pick for you is going to take you out of your, take you to, like I said, another comfort zone, but also bring you somewhere familiar. And it's kind of cheating because it's two shoes because of your personality as well, because you are a resident, just full of knowledge. But when you get into those comments, you can be our bouncer and get real thuggy with people. So I'm going to go ahead and say both the Spider-Man and the Venom Vapestas that came out this year. That just
okay.
I think that's just solid picks for you.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. I'm climbing the charts like Peter Parker. I think I got that lyric right. No, but I appreciate that as well, Mike. I mean, you and I both know. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't geeked out over the Across the Spider-Verse trailer, but that'll be for our Patreon episode. So if there's no other reason for you guys to invest in us, please invest in the Patreon, because that's where you get the truly unfiltered, hottest of hot takes. And these takes are so hot that it wakens newborns. So I thank you for that, Mike. And I thank you, Rob.
I think Mike Sauter just hit us with the wrap it up music.
She was like, come on, you're done here.
But this is a great exercise because I feel like none of us particularly are the type of personality that likes hearing other people say nice stuff to our faces. And I think that's a skill that all people can work on better. You're a great listener. Let people tell you you're great. Accept it. So I know I'm awkwarded out, but I also have a huge smile on my face hearing the pics of you two. So I appreciate each of you. I appreciate Nick. I also wanted to go ahead and throw somebody in the Discord that does a ton of work for us. Mr. Greg Taylor, putting together Secret Santa, all of the weekly stuff we do.
Santa.
He is Santa.
That man is Santa, because the way he coordinates for 60 plus people in our Discord that choose to partake in probably one of my favorite annual traditions, which is the Sneaker History Secret Santa Discord swap. And it's one of those things that I try to give that man a gift. I constantly am telling him, hey, Greg, let me give you X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, let me give you A, B, and C. And to his word and to his personal brand, which is equal parts honor and integrity, that man will never accept a gift.
So
true.
If you know Greg, please tell him to accept gifts from us, because he's truly the secret glue that makes all of us kind of appear more together than we actually are.
So that's a great anecdote, because we were hanging out this past weekend and he was lamenting about how he missed a vintage item he's always wanted. So I want to gift this to him. He missed an eBay bid by like $5-6 on an OG all air pressure by Nike with the pump,
wow.
the electric green looking clear box, OG all. And he unfortunately, the eBay gods were not smiling in his favor that day. So I'm going to go find that dude who beat him. I'm going to go beat that guy up and take the air pressures and re-gift him. We do not condone beating people up and taking shoes on Sneaker History. That's a joke. I will find another pristine dead stock pair.
Earmuffs.
And I'll get those out to him.
We'll just sneak in like Santa, take him out. He'll never know. It's fine. Just
you know where Robbie and I are from? We're from Gresham. You know who else is from Gresham? Tanya Harding.
Right.
Your knees have been warned.
Get the knees ready.
We will be applying pressure for those air pressures.
You know what they call Robbie? Young Galooly, because he looks like Jeff Galooly, son.
Oh man. I love
it.
it.
If anything goes wrong, they're gonna come looking for you too. Like, hey guys, look, we heard some things.
We heard some incriminating. We heard some incriminating podcast episodes. But in all seriousness, go tell a loved one what shoe you would give them, even though your ass is broke. Just kidding.
But is he?
Yeah, right. Nah.
It's hard times out there, people.
Yeah, right. I'm 100% kidding. But in all honesty, go say something nice to somebody. Thank you too for saying something nice to me. Discord members, thank you all for being nice to each other. Make sure you're following at Sneaker History. You can find me at RAHBEE702. Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me here on Sneaker History. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at MadWatcher789, and of course YouTube at Mike Guillory. Rohit, where you at, bud?
You can find me on Twitter at Roheezy, on Instagram at RohitM13, Hive, Mastodon. I feel like all these new social networks are just Mad Libs, so I don't know which one we're going to use once Twitter is actually down, but Twitter won't be down. Twitter is going to be a phoenix, if anything. It'll rise up from the ashes. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you, listeners. Everybody have a great day. Peace.
See ya.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.